A powered exoskeleton, also known as powered armor, exoframe, or exosuit, is a mobile machine consisting primarily of an outer framework worn by a person, and powered by a system of motors, hydraulics or pneumatics that delivers at least part of the energy for limb movement. The main function of a powered exoskeleton is to assist the wearer by boosting their strength and endurance. They are commonly designed for military use, to help soldiers carry heavy loads both in and out of combat. In civilian areas, similar exoskeletons could be used to help firefighters and other rescue workers survive dangerous environments. The medical field is another prime area for exoskeleton technology, where it can be used for enhanced precision during surgery, or as an assist to allow nurses to move heavy patients. Working prototypes of powered exoskeletons, including Exos by Sarcos, and HULC by Lockheed Martin, have been constructed but have not yet been deployed in the field. Several companies have also created exosuits for medical use, including the HAL-5 by Cyberdyne Inc., an electric-powered leg exoskeleton developed at MIT reduces the metabolic energy used when walking and carrying a load. The exoskeleton augments human walking by providing mechanical power to the ankle joints. Ekso Bionics is currently developing and manufacturing intelligently powered exoskeleton bionic devices that can be strapped on as wearable robots to enhance the strength, mobility, and endurance of soldiers and paraplegics. Various problems remain to be solved, the most daunting being the creation of a compact power supply powerful enough to allow an exoskeleton to operate for extended periods without being plugged into external power. History. As a unit, the apparatus used compressed gas bags to store energy that would assist with movements, although it was passive in operation and required human power. In 1917, U.S. inventor Leslie C. Kelly developed what he called a pedomotor, which operated on steam power with artificial ligaments acting in parallel to the wearer's movements. With the pedomotor, energy could be generated apart from the user. The first true exoskeleton in the sense of being a mobile machine integrated with human movements was co-developed by General Electric and the United States military in the 1960s. The suit was named Hardeman, and made lifting 250 pounds feel like lifting 10 pounds. Powered by hydraulics and electricity, the suit allowed the wearer to amplify their strength by a factor of 25, so that lifting 25 pounds was as easy as lifting 1 pound without the suit. A feature dubbed force feedback enabled the wearer to feel the forces and objects being manipulated. While the general idea sounded somewhat promising, the actual Hardeman had major limitations. It was impractical due to its 1,500-pound weight. Another issue was the fact it is a slave-master system, where the operator is in a master suit which is in turn inside the slave suit, which responds to the master and takes care of the workload. This multiple physical layer type of operation may work fine, but takes longer than a single physical layer. When the goal is physical enhancement, response time matters. Its slow walking speed of 2.5 feet per second further limited practical uses. The project was not successful. Any attempt to use the full exoskeleton resulted in a violent, uncontrolled motion, and as a result it was never tested with a human inside. Further research concentrated on one arm. Although it could lift its specified load of 750 pounds, it weighed 3/4 of a ton, just over twice the liftable load. Without getting all the components to work together, the practical uses for the Hardeman project were limited. Los Alamos Laboratories worked on an exoskeleton project in the 1960s called Project Pittman. In 1986, an exoskeleton prototype called the LIFESUIT was created by Monty Reed, a U.S. Army Ranger who had broken his back in a parachute accident. While recovering in the hospital, he read Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers and from Heinlein's description of mobile infantry power suits, He designed the LIFESUIT, and wrote letters to the military about his plans for the LIFESUIT. In 2001 LIFESUIT-1 was built. In 2003 LS-6 was able to record and play back a human gait. In 2005 LS-12 was won in a foot race known as the St. Patrick's Day Dash in Seattle, Washington. Monty Reed and LIFESUIT-12 set the land speed distance record for walking in robot suits. LS-12 completed the 3-mile race in 90 minutes. The current LIFESUIT prototype 14 can walk 1 mile on a full charge and lift 92 kilograms for the wearer. In January 2007, Newsweek magazine reported that the Pentagon had granted development funds to the University of Texas at Dallas nanotechnologist Ray Bauman to develop military-grade artificial electroactive polymers. These electrically contractive fibers are intended to increase the strength-to-weight ratio of movement systems in military-powered armor applications. One of the proposed main uses for an exoskeleton would be enabling a soldier to carry heavy objects while running or climbing stairs. Not only could a soldier potentially carry more weight, he could presumably wield heavier armor and weapons. Most models use a hydraulic system controlled by an onboard computer. They could be powered by an internal combustion engine, batteries or potentially fuel cells. Another area of application could be medical care, nursing in particular. Faced with the impending shortage of medical professionals and the increasing number of people in elderly care, several teams of Japanese engineers have developed exoskeletons designed to help nurses lift and carry patients. Exoskeletons could also be applied in the area of rehabilitation of stroke or spinal cord injury patients. Such exoskeletons are sometimes also called step rehabilitation robots. An exoskeleton could reduce the number of therapists needed by allowing even the most impaired patient to be trained by one therapist, whereas several are currently needed. Also, training could be more uniform, easier to analyze retrospectively, and can be specifically customized for each patient. At this time there are several projects designing training aids for rehabilitation centers. Exoskeletons could also be regarded as wearable robots. A wearable robot is a mechatronic system that is designed around the shape and function of the human body, with segments and joints corresponding to those of the person it is externally coupled with. German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence developed 2 general-purpose powered exoskeletons, CAPIO and Vibot. They also considered human force sensitivities in the design and operation phases. Teleoperation and power amplification were said to be the first applications. But after recent technological advances, the range of application fields is said to have widened. Increasing recognition from the scientific community means that this technology is now employed in telemanipulation, man amplification, neuromotor control research and rehabilitation, and to assist with impaired human motor control. Current products: Rowalk. Rowalk features powered hip and knee motion to enable those with lower limb disabilities, including paraplegia as a result of spinal cord injury, to perform self-initiated standing, walking, and stair ascending, descending. Sarcos. Raytheon XOS exoskeleton arms, legs. For use in the military, weighs 68 kilograms and allows the wearer to lift 90 kilograms with little or no effort. In 2010, the XOS-2 was unveiled, which featured more fluid movement, increase in power output and decrease in power consumption. Ekso Bionics, Lockheed Martin HULC legs, the primary competitor to Sarcos. Raytheon, weighs 24 kilograms and allows the user to carry up to 91 kilograms on a backpack attached to the exoskeleton independent of the user. A modified version of HULC is also in development for medical use, to help patients walk. Exo Bionics legs. a hydraulically powered exoskeleton system allowing paraplegics to stand and walk with crutches or a walker. Cyberdyne's HAL-5 arms, legs. The first cyborg-type wearable robot allows the wearer to lift 10 times as much as they normally could. HAL-5 is currently in use in Japanese hospitals, and was given Global Safety Certification in 2013. Honda exoskeleton legs. Weighs 6.5 kilograms and features a seat for the wearer. MIT Media Labs Biomechatronics Group legs. Weighs 11.7 kilograms. Parker Hannifin Indigo exoskeleton. An electrically powered system for paraplegics to walk with crutches. European Space Agency series of ergonomic exoskeletons for robotic teleoperation. The EXARM, EXARM2 and SAM exoskeletons of the ESA Telerobotics and Haptics Laboratory. Ghent University exoskeleton. Wallex. In 2013, this was the first exoskeleton that allowed to reduce metabolic costs below the cost of normal walking. This result was achieved by optimizing the controls based on study of the biomechanics of the human exoskeleton interaction. Under development. European Commission's MINDWALKER, a mind-controlled exoskeleton for disabled people. Vrije Universiteit Brussels Altacro, an exoskeleton for disabled people. Exoskeleton, an exoskeleton for disabled people with locomotion disorders. Future Soldier 2030 initiative by the U.S. Army. The Vrije Universiteit Brussels, KU Leuven Joint Research Program MIRAD, an exoskeleton for people with limited mobility.